Hi.
Hi guys.
Chochi here once again.
This is 7.
Why are we laughing though? So yeah, as you know, the essence of this channel is Alex, that's 7, and I have been friends for long. We drifted apart and recently reconnected, and since then we've been exploring elements of our personalities through music, interest, and whatever ideologies around whatever theme. So we've done a number of episodes which I'll link somewhere here, and you should please check out some of them, from 7 by Taylor Swift, which is like an ode to Alex, who is also 7, to Deaf Heaven. What's the title of the song? I always forget it because it's long. I always forget it.
Yeah, the marvelous orange tree.
The marvelous orange tree
like
by Deaf Heaven, which is like I say what depression does sound like. And there's also Never Grow Up by Taylor Swift. Hit the Wall by Gracie Abrams. What's the one we did again? Oh my God.
We did Red by Taylor Swift.
Red by Taylor Swift, yeah. And then now, today, this is my peak. We're doing, drum roll,
we're doing This Is Me Trying
by Taylor Swift.
Another Taylor Swift song. And I'm so excited for this one.
I know, I'm so excited. Am I actually ready for this one?
It goes there.
I know. So This Is Me Trying is off Taylor Swift's album Folklore. Definitely one of my favorite songs from the album. I think this song deserves more recognition.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Right, yeah. So I think even from the title, This Is Me Trying, you probably already have an idea of what this song is trying to talk about. So I think we'll just go right into it. Okay, but maybe let me start from, which is like, I don't know if this is like a regular progression in our, in this, but like, I think let me start from like why I chose the song. Yeah, I think why I sort of chose the song is, I would say it's a former gifted kid anthem. And if you are a former gifted kid, I mean, I know everybody kind of tries to claim to be a former gifted kid, but if you know you're a former gifted kid, you know, right? And I feel like as one myself, if I do say so myself, it really just, put a lot of thoughts into words for me. Yeah, and that's sort of why I chose the song. I really just thought it's something that you also really relate with as well.
When I was listening to the song, I thought about a tweet I made sometime last year. I think it was last year. About I said, what was it again? I used to be a gifted kid, but now I just sleep.
Yeah, and that's when I think I'll put it, and that's when it went viral. It did.
It went
viral.
And I just wondered why such.
And finally, when Alex made that tweet, I'm not sure he had listened to this song. I'm not even sure he knew this song existed. So that's sort of, I mean, that's one of the laws about Taylor Swift. She just writes about universal stuff, universal experience, and yeah, this song. Without further ado, let's just get into this song because it's quite a lot to unpack. I don't want to waste you guys' time. So, verse 1. I'm not just reading for this song. Okay. I've been having a hard time adjusting. I had the shiniest wheels. Now they're rusting. So this line, or these lines, how I would say is sort of I would interpret it, or it relates to me, is there's a time in your life where everything just feels so promising.
Yeah.
Just so perfectly promising. Like maybe when you're younger, it could be your ambition, your dreams, the plans that you have, and everything just seemed so perfect. And like I said, for former gifted kids, you have so much, you hold so much promise. From school to family to friends. There's like, oh, you're gonna be so successful. Yeah, you have this potential. You have this stuff, right? And then years later, you're like maybe in your late 20s, and then you're thinking about like all that stuff, and you're like, you're not proud of your present stage because you're like, where did all that go? Everyone could swear by my potential, and now it feels like I am not living up to that. So it's like having that shiniest wheel, and now they're all like you're pretty much seeing your life become a reflection of what it shouldn't be. Like that's how the complete opposite of what you thought it was going to be, and what everybody said. Because when you're from a gifted kid, it's not just you that knows it. People around you would make allusions to why you were that. So when people say you're former gifted kid, I feel like if people around you, your immediate environment, did not see that, then maybe you just are not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because, so to add to that, it's also how like everything at that point where it looked like it's everything looked, all your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations for the future, they looked like they were possible. They were very possible. So it was as much a dream it was a dream.
It was very attainable. It seemed very attainable.
Yeah, because you had all of that. You had all of the things,
like
all
you had
the
the wings
potential
and everything. Yeah.
So you just kind of like in a place. You're just kind of in a place where you seem like, oh, you go through school and then you get a good job, like the job you imagine, and like everything will fall into place.
Just be perfect, right?
But
and then like, so that piggybacking off of the first line, so saying I have been having a hard time adjusting. So that's now you in your present, thinking about all of that, and then you can't come to terms with your present because you know fully well that this is not who I should be, or this is not where I should be.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you now have to adjust to the reality of all that stuff now rusting. So that's why she said, I've been having a hard time adjusting. So pretty much having a hard time having a hard time not accepting that you're no longer that former gifted kid, or you're no longer that gifted kid or whatever. You're now whatever it is right now.
That is so real, because I think one thing every gifted kid can like relate to is questioning your own potential. Like you go back and then you start questioning, were you really intelligent? Were you smart? Like, or did people just gaslight you into thinking you were smart because you could do things better? And
at some points, based on your presence, you can't keep carrying that badge of a former gifted kid. You now have to adjust to your reality,
because
maybe you were actually dumb. Unfortunately, I do be feeling that way sometimes.
Trust me, I do. It's so real. Oh my god!
Like having a hard time, like, and it's a hard one adjusting to.
I swear,
it's a hard one adjusting to. Like think about having those shine, and then sometimes your parents would remind, like, say for instance with music. I think I mentioned it when we were talking about Never Grow Up. Oh, my mom said, "Oh, I've always been this musically inclined kid," and even how I started school crash was me going to drum and everything. And then when I think about now in my late 20s, and it feels like all the dreams I had in school and all that time about maybe making music in the way that I want, and in late 20s still not being able to do that, you start feeling like wow.
And
like wow.
I can so relate, because me as a child, I always felt like I should be ahead. Any class I found myself in, the teachers felt like I should be in the next one. That I was too advanced.
Advanced intelligence for that present class.
For that present class. So it kind of like, as a young me growing up, it made me feel, it kind of validated some kind of the big dreams I had. I wanted to be a pilot so bad, and I felt I was going to be I kind of like had this conviction that is already a future that was sealed. I would be a pilot after all of this thing. I would be a pilot. I would finish school and I'll go on to flight school, and I'll be that person that I've always like envisioned to be. So and
everybody could attest that, and everybody could swear you're going to be at that time.
So it was,
and then years later you now look at yourself and you're like, you just have to adjust to this reality. And then sometimes you find yourself in certain situations and you're telling yourself deep down, I shouldn't be here.
Because
I'm more than this. But then sadly that's your current, that's your present. So you have to adjust to that reality, which is it's so hard to accept.
It is because it's because you kind of carry some shame because of it too. You carry some shame. Because this is not just you in your head. People saw it. People could attest to that genius that you had. So it's now like the difference. Now you carry some shame because of it.
I think that's actually so accurate. You carry some shame because of it. That's actually so real. Ah, man, this is starting out so heavy. I'm sorry. Then moving on to the next line. I didn't know if you'd care if I came back. I have a lot of regrets about that. I think it's sort of part of what we're saying about, like, there are people around, family, friends, or whatever, that could attest to your genius. Now, this is how it relates to it. I don't know if this when I don't know if she's saying, I didn't know if you care if I came back. She's talking about the lover. I'm talking about, for me, I'm thinking about it for maybe the people who experienced you at that point when you had the shiniest wheels, right?
Yeah.
And then now they're rusting. So it's like, how do you face those people? How do you go back to them to show them this is what I have so far. This is what I've been able to come up with so far. I have a lot of regrets about that. Like so I feel like here regrets connote shame.
Yeah.
I would put it that way. Like, you can't go back there. Like, you can't go back to those teachers that had so much promise of you. Because how do you face them?
This is so real, because there was a time I was supposed to run into a teacher from secondary school, and this was one of my science teachers. One of the teachers I was very close to. He taught one of my favorite subjects, biology and chemistry. So I saw him like at a random place. I wasn't even expecting to see anybody I knew there, and my first instinct was to go and say hello, but then I immediately thought, like, oh my god, like,
yeah, I'm not where I think I should be.
Yeah,
so
like,
I'm not where he would think I should be in general, and you feel like, yeah.
I pulled up my face mask and like just disguised.
Because really, if you're in a certain situation where you feel you should be, you boldly maybe go say hi.
Exactly.
You get what I mean? So that's sort of how I interpreted. Like, I didn't know if you'd care if I came back. I have a lot of regrets about. So it's like just that feeling of you've disappointed people, but you're not living. You didn't live up to all that praise and expectation people had of you, and you just feel a lot of regrets about whatever. And then now this is the part where it gets a bit dark, and I love this line so much. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this line. I feel like the line doesn't get enough praise. So she says, pull the car off the road to the lookout. Couldn't follow my fears all the way down. The imagery I have from this lines, pull the car off the road to so it's suicide. It's suicidal. This part is suicidal.
Yeah. It's the same imagery I got. Like suicidal. Yeah.
It's suicidal, but not even having the courage to even commit suicide. And I felt that way once too many times. I mean, I've jokingly said that if maybe I didn't have people that, like maybe my mom, my sister, they're going to be hurt or whatever, I could have just long ago I would have just committed suicide.
I think for a lot of people, that is the string that kind of like still anchors them to, like, the difference between going, like, committing suicide and just remaining here and suffering. I think that's the anchor. I felt that way
many times. So it's like this. So it's like when you're going through that whatever. So it's like maybe in that case, like driving to a certain place where there's like a lookout, and then maybe just drive off the cliff or whatever, but you don't even have the courage to follow follow your face all the way down, to like drive or to jump down. So I love the way she designed this line that you don't think about suicide at first. You just suicide doesn't really come to mind. I mean, because I didn't realize that for a long time after listening to this song.
It was the first line that actually hit me.
Oh wow!
This is.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, if you have like a mental health condition, suicidal ideation it's something you will constantly have to deal with. Yeah, so for a lot of people, this is just immediately apparent.
I didn't. So like she drove there. She toyed with the thought.
Yeah,
she just couldn't get herself to do it.
You're literally at the edge. Yeah, it's
that's the image I get from this thing. Yeah, the edge.
You could do it if you wanted, but like,
if you had enough strength,
if you had the courage. So let me say another thing, because sometimes this not having the courage could mean also like imagining the pain you would go through, because actually. So when people the conversation you see people talk about when they hear someone commit suicide, they call the person a coward. They call, the victim, the person who has died, committed suicide and is gone. They call them victims because they're not thinking of like the people in their lives, the people who would miss them, who would cry over them, and then they call them cowards, but they don't realize the mental weight, the mental courage it actually takes to stop yourself from actually going further than just playing with the idea. Because let me tell you something. As much as it looks like it's something easy to do, it's hard. So people who do it, people who commit suicide, it is like you can't imagine the weight they have had to like endure to now actually go over, like allow themselves to get pushed to the edge and then like just go over. It's a lot, it's so heavy. And
I mean, to be honest with you, when I think about suicide, when I hear people commit suicide, I always even think that they're very strong.
yeah,
I always think this
exactly.
because do you know the level of strength it takes to actually go through with that?
Because they know these things. If you're saying they're not thinking about people in their lives, like, that's what they think about all the time. They think about the pain. They think about the pain they'll be causing people. Like, for me, for example, I think about my mom a lot. And even though you know that for you, just living this plane of existence will mean peace and like just everything ending, people move on and all that, you still can't. The pain you would cause people, it's such a heavy weight to carry. It's strong.
It is. I mean, like I said, a few times I've toyed with that idea. It was just my mom and my sister. Well, not even my brother. It was just my mom and my sister. I constantly just always think about, and I'm like, nah, I don't think I can do this, because sometimes life gets so hard. I mean, I think I'm better now, but when it seemed like just nothing in life makes sense.
Yeah.
It was just like the people, my family, that just we think about it. You're like, I don't want to hurt them too.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's no longer you just trying to get peace, because it's like now your peace comes at a very costly expense.
Yeah.
Which is like your mother, people that you don't want to hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that line, pull the car off the road to the lookout, could have followed my feet all the way down. It's so real, and
it's heavy.
Like, yeah, it's heavy. And maybe I don't know, and maybe I don't quite know what to say, but I'm here in your doorway. So I think this is maybe where it has to do with maybe a lover, a partner, or someone very close. It's like that point where you're like, I'm lost for words, but I'm here either ways, or I'm lost for words. And I think it's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you. It's like I'm still reaching out regardless. I'm still keeping in touch regardless. It's hard for me, but I'm trying.
And I'm wondering why she's there in the doorway, sort of entering. And yeah, because when you're suffering with something like that, I think we've talked about this before. You don't want to bring something you deal with in your head is try not to bring your darkness, your whatever, into people's lives. So you kind of like exist on the periphery of their life. So you just hovering around without like entering,
because you don't want to burden them.
Yeah, you don't want to burden. Yeah, exactly. So it can look like replying to the messages without actually like explaining yourself. It can look like picking up the call after 3 rings and just saying hello without actually
just stretching around.
Yeah.
So it's like you're okay to be tolerated.
Exactly.
Ish.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think because really, why are you at the doorway? Why are you not inside? Why are you not entering? So it's like that. Maybe I don't know. So that maybe I don't know quite what to say. Is that thing of, like you rightly explained, when you're going through that stuff, you don't even know. You can't explain it.
You can express it.
You can't express it. You can't talk too much, but you're just there anyways.
Yeah.
You're just around. They're tolerating you anyways.
This is me. Yeah.
This is me. Yeah. I'm showing up. Like exactly. I'm showing up.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I can't explain too much. I can't talk too much. I can't explain this. I don't know what to say. But yeah, I'm here anyways, right?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That kind of I'm here. That's all that matters. I'm around. That's what that matters. I think that's, you have to put that in perspective. So this first verse really puts a lot of things into perspective when it comes to having to deal with the shame, the regrets, the just hovering around and trying to not disturb other people with your issues or pollute other people with your issues. And because in this day and time, they're going to call it negative energy. They're going to call it that one is too, even is depression. People are going to
you talk about depression a lot.
Man, it's so sad. Like I don't have energy for this right now. I beg, it's too negative. So I think that's what the first line is talking about. And then the chorus goes, I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. I think this part, I mean, one of the, apart from like how it's sort of self-explanatory, I think it's also a part for me where when I sing the song, I think about it's like I'm maybe telling my loved ones, family, friends or whatever, like people that really just want to see me better. I'm telling them that, look, I'm trying my best.
Exactly, because it's asking to be seen, because trying may not really look like much. Trying can be like you see an addict. An addict trying to quit their addiction, and this is somebody who like they fight with this thing, and then maybe 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, they don't
they relapse or something.
It might not look like much, but like that is them trying. They're really trying. So trying is not, because people expect trying to look like it's, they want to see something
substantial.
Exactly. But like trying can, it's sometimes it's so small that people don't even see it as anything. But for you, who is
it's a lot.
It's a lot, because it takes a lot to get to that point where you can actually, you're trying. Yeah,
doesn't mean that you might not still like give in to some things. Like Gracie Evans said, I want to be stable, but I do cave. So in between, you cave at some intermittently you cave, but but overall you are trying. You're making efforts. You go some days without that substance or whatever, and then on a few times where you give in or whatever, you shouldn't be defined by that.
Yeah. It might not even get to that. So it's also because sometimes we disappear from people's lives. You disappear because you want to, as you're suffering that, you want to kind of you just disappear. You disappear, but you show up regardless. Despite of yourself, despite everything, you show up. You, like I said, you reply the text message. You answer the call. You hang out when you can. That is true. People might not even see that as anything,
but for you,
that is trying.
It's big.
It's like. So I'm just gonna relate this to, because being someone who has like suffered with this thing for like, I think all my life. I don't even know when it started. They're just. I'm always having to explain to people that I disappear. I'm always having to explain this to people. And people might not see it as anything when I'm actually like there. I'm constant, I'm present, I'm like just there. When you're looking for me, I'm there. They might not see it as anything. They might just see it as like, oh, okay, you're here now, thank God. But for me, that is taking a lot. It's taking a lot to not actually shut down, not go off the grid, and
oh
like,
my God, that hits.
Like
Gosh.
just stay. That is trying. That's trying. Trying might not look like a lot. I think that this is what she's trying to say here. Trying might not, because people expect trying to be like something substantial that people can look at and like
that's so tangible and like it's visible
and applaud you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're actually trying. But trying sometimes
it's not so minute, and for you, for the next person, it might not count for much, but for you, it's quite a lot. Well, and that's just chorus. I just wanted you to know, and I just love how even in the chorus she's not saying too much.
Yeah,
it's just like that. Look, I just like because that I just wanted to know this is trying is enough.
Yeah, because that is, I think it's just explaining the last line of the first verse. But I'm here in your doorway. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. I'm here in your doorway, and that is trying for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you understand?
I am in your doorway, and
that's
trying.
enough for me. Yeah.
That's
trying. For me, that's already enough.
I hope you could see it.
Yeah, because sometimes, most time people don't see it.
Yeah, in a literal sense, if you saw someone standing in your doorway,
why come inside? What's your problem?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm here in your doorway.
Now,
I want you to know that this is me trying. That I'm here is me trying.
That I'm here is like it's such a huge deal. Yeah, I mean it's such a huge deal. It's taking me a lot to be here.
But I'm here anyway. Oh my god.
Yeah, moving on to verse 2, man. This is also one of my favorite parts as well. They told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential. So this part, right, is just like piggybacking off of everything you've said. When even the few times maybe you want to open to a few persons, they're trying to make it look like it's all in your head. It's all in your head. So your cages are it's all in your head, and then you just it leads to more self-sabotage.
Yeah,
that's like getting wasted like all my potential.
That's why people are so quick to offer like positive. What is it? You open up to people and they just tell you, oh, you just have to think positively.
Exactly. Oh my god, that's actually the perfect description of they told me all of my cages were mental.
Exactly, because even when you go to therapy, it's one of the first things they try to do. So when you go to cognitive behavioral therapy, they try to redirect your psychology to start basically just thinking positively, looking at your mental states and kind of like doing the mental maneuvering to put yourself in a place where you can look at your condition or yourself positively. But it doesn't really work and this is a very personal experience. Before I got prescribed and put on psychotronics, they tried to do CBT on me. It wasn't really helping anything because I could stand in front of a mirror and tell myself that I don't have to be depressed. I could tell myself all of that, but it doesn't, in the real sense of things, it doesn't really help anything. So, like,
wow, yeah, and because when they tell you all that stuff, you know what is wrong with you. And then you know that all of this that you're saying is not whatever. It just leads to more depression, more self-sabotage. So I think that's sort of where so I got wasted like all my potential. So it's like your potential that was already, this is like it sort of further brings you down. It just sort of further gets you spiraling. That's sort of how I see that, because that when they tell you all those things of it's on your head, it leads to more frustration for you.
It does lead to, because you're also wondering why anybody else can just think positively and they're okay, but you start like, what is wrong with you actually? Why can't you do the same thing and get the same results? Why can't you like just redirect your own psychology and get to that point where, because people do CBT, that's the cognitive behavioral therapy, and they're okay, they don't need medication, they carry on with their lives, they do their affirmations and everything, like today is positive, I'll go out and I'll be happy and I'll be lucky, and they do that and they're okay, they go out and they're fine. And then you're wondering, why isn't this me? Why am I not thinking of this? And like, why am I not okay? Why am I broken beyond this?
It's like I think just breaking down the song, it's even making me feel sadder and sadder. So moving on, and my words shoot to kill when I am mad. I think this one is for me. I think this one is for me because when I'm in that whatever, I say the worst things when I'm mad, when I'm angry. I say the worst things that I am not even proud of at all, things that I would regret that I ever said. So that's why I, as much as possible, try to not be mad at anything, because I know that it's like I'm a different beast when I'm mad.
Yeah.
And I imagine in a case like this, where you have people, telling you, oh, it's all in your head, it leads to, self-sabotage, more of you destroying yourself. And then one of the byproducts of that could be you just spiraling. I don't know if it happens to you.
Yeah.
But it could be you just spiraling, where you just start saying things that you shouldn't even say.
Yeah.
And then later, maybe when you feel a bit, not sober is the word, but like later when you feel a bit whatever, you start feeling bad about some of those things you've said or thoughts to yourself.
Well, it's like at that time when you were saying those things, you had no control.
Yeah, it's like so whenever I think of this line, and my words shoot to kill when I'm mad, I don't know if you watched Legend of the Seeker.
Yeah, I did.
It's like I think about when Kate and Amnel is in Condor.
Yeah.
Where there's this rage, where that she can't control herself.
Yeah.
There's this rage she can't control when she's in Condor, whereby she wants to kill, whereby she confesses you that time, it's death straight. That's the imagery I always have when I hear this, and my words shoot to kill when I am mad.
I have a very vivid memory of this. I mean, with you, there was a I don't know if you can remember, there was a time in school where we had this whole issue for nothing, and then you killed me. Oh my God. So this is just like making everything clear, because I think, I don't know if I ever told you about it. I don't know if I ever told you about it. Oh, well, it was just some things I shared with you, and then you kind of used them when we had that issue. And it hurt, the way it hurt. It wasn't something you could just get over, because I felt they were just really piercing words, and it stayed with me for a very long time. So this is just, now with you saying this, I can just see.
Yeah, I'm the worst when I'm the worst. And I mean, I'm a lot better now, but especially that time I was younger. I am the worst. I'm the absolute. I think probably maybe up until 2020, 2021, I got I started telling myself, this is not good. This is an issue you have. It's not just anger. You just say the dumbest thing, and this is not just to family, friends. At some point, I was really ashamed of myself. It was. So it became this issue.
I can imagine.
So it became this issue that I had that I didn't know how to control. So also I think it sort of made me more recluse, such that regardless of situations I'm in, even when I'm being wronged, I can't allow myself to feel, because I know what that comes with. So it's being burdened by something you can't always control. I think till now it's you can't allow yourself to feel. You can't allow yourself to. When people betray you, people do things to you, always want to chalk it up to it's fine, it's okay. You can't be expressive, because you know that comes at a very high cost, such that the offense now. The offense, what someone did to you, is no longer now the issue. The issue now be what you said and how you reacted. I see the dumbest things when I'm angry, and I don't even mean them. But I agree with you when you say those things to people, it's not about how you felt or whatever. That impacts your words have to them has been made, and after we had this, I apologized, right?
But you did.
Obviously, that wasn't going to do anything for you, because. So I think, like I said, even that time I didn't even know I had that issue. It was around 2020, because with Fola as well, we had that issue as well. Yeah, and I think it was Fola that sort of started making me realize that this is something you do. My mom has told me before, but I did not take it seriously. Obviously, as you get older, it's experiencing more people. You realize that you can't do life like this, whereby you're angry and then you start saying some of the dumbest things ever known to man. So I'm so sorry about that, man.
Oh no. I mean, this is
but it's good that we talk about this.
It's just the line that
the line that shoot to kill. Like
it just brought back.
I think that's sort of why this song I relate to it very well, because there are different things she touched on that I could relate to.
Yeah.
So because like I imagine someone like you, for instance, like you're very calm. So I can't imagine the worst things you say even when you're angry, right? But someone like me, I would say the worst things when I'm angry. So I feel the lyrics is doing so much for you as much as it's doing for me, like in different ways. Because some people as well, you can be going through all that stuff, and then you'll be surprised some of these things. I mean, when people react the way they react, you never know where that other stuff is even coming from.
Yeah.
So that word, I really love it so much because it always reminds me how horrible I can be, or I could be when I was in all that stuff. Yeah. And then saying I have a lot of regrets about that. That's exactly how I always feel. Like no matter how much I am in the right, when I've gone that route of this thing, I'll not start apologizing to you, because at that point, whatever wrong you did to me has now my reaction has erased whatever wrong, such that like what the things I say now become the major of it. That's even such that even me, I'm like, you shouldn't have said that. So that's where the intense regret now starts setting in, whereby I now forget what the person did to me. I now start, focusing on,
I can't imagine how hard. See, because it's a very difficult thing to, especially when you are aware of like this thing about it, it's something very hard to, you see, what do I even call them? Because when this thing, it's almost like having like a tick or something. You can't control it when you can't control it when you get to that point. And like people can't, if you're dealing with people who don't really understand, or like maybe someone you're meeting you've barely known, people who aren't like really close to you, and they're seeing that side of you, they kind of like just make an impression about you. And so it's really hard. It's such a hard thing. Imagine having something like that you can't control. People have real problems.
It's bad. I tell you. So it's like I'm just actively calling myself to other. Well, it's really bad. Or it used to be really bad. Yeah. So then I was so ahead of the curve. The curve became a sphere. Fell behind all my classmates, and I ended up here. So this line also hits as well. Maybe I will go first. This line also very much hits as well, because at that point where you have those shiniest wheels, I just bring it literally, right? Where you had the shiniest wheels. Like I think using saying classmates, I would say maybe class setting or school setting that time. At that point where you had the shiniest wheels, where you're these former gifted kids. Like I said, everybody could attest that. Like you said, you're like in your class, then people feel like you're too advanced for this. The same way then for me, then to like around my peers, then you seem like a standout kid. You seem like a standout kid, So it's like at that point you're so even down to like maybe uni period, you always feel like I shouldn't be here. Like you just always feel so like I'm more than these people.
Yeah.
And there are like things that always points to that. So at some point in life, you'll be so ahead of that this thing, and then the curve becomes a sphere, and which is more like before life gets complicated.
Yeah. So the imagery, and I love this imagery, because the image it paints in my. Have you a hamster in a hamster wheel? You're just going round. You go so high, you go so ahead of the curve that it becomes like this thing where you're like going around circles, like there's no points to anything. Like that's the imagery you gave me.
That is that's interesting.
That's the imagery. That's because actually life did get like that for me at some point. Like it felt like I was just going, and that period I was trying to figure out because I grew up with all of these dreams and everything and potential, and I felt like I knew where my life was heading, and then suddenly I'm somewhere where I don't even know what this thing is supposed to be, where this life is supposed to go. So I spent that period trying to figure out like what my life should be. So it was sort of like going around in circles. going around the circles, like
That is so real. And
no points when
that is so real. And for me, this line as well, I just remembered something. This being so ahead of the curve reminds me of something like while growing up, people will say things like not people will say things like while growing up, maybe at certain age, you start doing certain things that typically people your age don't do. It should be maybe for when you're at an older age, right? Say for instance, I started working very early, started like work experience very early, started life very early, you know. I remember when I first got my apartments, I was like 21, you know, getting an apartment, the kind of apartment I got at that time, for that amount, a lot of people my age were not doing that. So at that point, you felt so ahead of right? Of the curve, and your peers or people, typically your age, you know. Then I had my job at Maven. I was nicknamed Maven Pekin because I was like so young, like I was the youngest there. So it's like you're in spaces that typically people your age or whatever, like maybe should be in school or should be at certain distance when you are already at those phases. So life felt so promising in that period. Like then I could say that before I'm 25, before I'm 28, right? I know I'll have been this, whatever, I'll have been making this. So
my God,
that's when you're having that shiniest wheels, right? Where everything seems so promising. Like even then. My boss then Tega, like he would say, I believe so much in you and everything. Like you're this young person that seems to be doing so well. So they can swear that before 25, this guy will be so this thing. And then life happens and that 25 lands and then you're this basic ass whatever. And then your peers catch up to you and even surpass you. Because now I'll be honest with you, I'm very, oh God, will it be me saying too much? So now I don't want to call names, but I think we've discussed this before. Where I see a lot of people who were my friends then, who would who would hail me for being inspiring to them based on where I was working at the time. And I seem to have my shits together at that time, and we're all just like I said, we're all peers. And for them, they were still trying to scratch. They haven't even scratched the surface. They're just trying to get by, still living with their aunties and their parents and all that stuff. I was already in my own apartment and all that stuff, was independent and everything. And you feel like life is just going to continue that way, where you're going to keep being ahead and whatever. And then, like I said, life just blows out and you wake up one morning and suddenly you realize that they're all doing so much better right now, living in bigger apartments, launching businesses, and then there's you still trying to figure things out, and you're like, what happened? So it's like, that's my own definition of even apart from even being a former gifted kid. This like what I'm saying is like, say from 5-6 years ago. So it's not been like that long ago. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was that time where I was really this person. Joel was doing so well. Joel is working at this company. Joel has this. Obviously, with that trajectory, you expect that at 25, at 27, at 28, definitely this person will be different, whatever, right? And then now you're looking at your life and you're like, wow. How are they now all doing so much better than I am? And I'm still here just trying to figure shit out. I'm not even sure what I'm doing with myself anymore. That for me, that's like that being so ahead of the curve. You lose track of everything, and so you're like, wow.
That is.
And I say, fell behind all my classmates and I ended up here. And this is, I say, to be honest with you, but when I'm listening to this song and when I'm not listening to this song, that's sort of why I leave social media sometimes, because you keep seeing them update things about their career, their progresses, and then you have nothing to share or nothing tangible to share, or nothing of note that you think that would excite people enough for you to share. You're just there and you're asking yourself like, so that's like really me falling behind my classmates, and
you feel like you are at the bottom.
That's how I feel. So this song is really bringing a myriad of feelings and
I can relate to what you just expressed, because I come from a small town. So this is a town where and I grew up hating that town so much because I felt like I was made for more. I saw kids grow up to kind of just continue doing what their parents did, and I didn't want to be that kid. And I didn't want to be that person. It was such a small town that everybody did the same thing. It felt like nothing was really, really new. Nothing was going. And I wanted so badly to leave that town. And I left. So I left and I felt like I was so far ahead of everyone I've left, my peers I've left behind and everything. And some years later, seeing how they're doing in those things that they're doing, continuing where their parents stopped with the businesses they have and everything else. And I'm just, I look at them and like,
I thought I was better.
yeah.
I thought I was better. So really, and yeah, so that's really, so and then now you now have to come to terms of the fact that your those shiny wheels you had is now rusting.
Yeah, because
you have to come to terms with that. Like they're now seemingly ahead of you.
Yeah,
but they're doing better. All that stuff. You have to make peace with that.
Exactly, because those people, my peers, then in the small town, they looked up to me. These were people who they continued reaching out to me to kind of like help them also. So I was that
guy that made it out.
Yeah. And today,
and then now you're like, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I started hiding from them.
Yeah. God bless you, Alex. Same, legit, same. It's so shameful. I think that's what it's embarrassing.
It is.
Yeah. So they ended up here then pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey. So the line is, and I ended up here pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey. So the imagery this part gives to me, pouring out my heart to a stranger, is more like either speaking to someone about it, talking to a therapist instead of getting drunk, or instead of drinking it away, talking to someone about it. Yeah, I'll say someone or a therapist, which is mostly a stranger. I think that's a metaphor for a stranger.
I mean, when people tell you that all your problems are in your head, there's that line.
They told me all of my cages were mental.
Yeah, when people say things like that,
they tell you to go see a therapist.
Yeah, and you do. You go see a therapist. You pour your heart out to your therapist, because one thing they tell you when you're in therapy is that pour your heart out, your heart out.
Instead of pouring whiskey to the glass. Instead of pouring whiskey to a glass, pour your heart out. That's actually so true. But I always think about a therapist. I always think about like instead of drinking, you go for therapy. Which is, I mean, because people in this state, they try to get better.
Yeah.
They try therapy. So to tell you, I've tried therapy, I've tried this, I've tried that. Because they try. So I really like that she acknowledged, or she even brought that into, because people always feel like, oh, why are you feeling this way? Have you tried anything? Yeah. So she's trying to say that, look, I've tried everything, including therapy, because people always think therapy is a magic solution to these mental issues. So she's trying to say that I have tried everything. I've even stayed away from drinking. I've gone for therapy, and it's still not.
Yeah, because something you hear every time when you talk about mental health, being unstable, people just tell you, open up. Talk to people. Make sure you're not alone.
If you're going through this thing, this is a number you can call.
Yeah,
speak to someone.
So she's doing it.
She's trying to say that. She's trying to say I have done everything humanly possible, including therapy. Yeah. But I mean, at least I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how it is over there, but not a lot of people. Therapy is not that distant. Not a lot of people acknowledge therapy, but she's trying to say that I have done everything, including therapy. I've stayed away from drinking, but still. So that's that line. So it's like, so it's like all these things. You internalize them so much, it starts to mess you up. You try therapy, it's still not working. So that I say, pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey. I just wanted you to know this is me trying.
So a lot of people might not see it as that much of a thing. They might not see it as significant, because, like, again, what we said about trying, when people tell you to open up a lot, people tell you to talk, go to therapy, and then you finally do, people don't see it as anything. They trivialize it so much. But now she's saying, like, this is me. I love how, like, this last line just flows into the chorus, like, pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey. I just wanted you to know this is me trying. I didn't pour the whiskey, so that is me trying. I talked to someone instead of drinking. That
That's
is
me trying. That's a whole ass effort right there.
I love that.
I love that.
I love it so much.
I really love that connection.
Yeah. I love what she does with.
And then she says, "At least I'm trying.
At least I'm trying.
At least I'm trying." Like it doesn't, like, you might not see it as this thing, but it's there's this thing that it might not be much, but it's honest work.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like this. At least I'm trying. It might not be. For you, it might not count for much, but for me, it's very genuine. It's honest. It's enough for me. And then she goes to the bridge, and it's hard to be at a party when I feel like an open wound. That part hits me because when you're going through all this stuff, right? It's hard to be with people. It's hard to be out there because there's one. I mean, amidst all your feeling, there's this thing of you don't want to dampen anyone's. Well, you don't want to be the negative energy in the room.
Yeah.
You have this. You don't want to be the dramatic one that's always depressed.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very hard to be at a party when you feel like this open wound. That's sort of how I always interpret that. It's hard to be with people. It's hard to be in public. It has to be social and all that stuff when you're going through this thing because you don't want to be the party pooper. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're better off just being in your corner. So, and just, mulling over whatever you're mulling over and instead of being, in those spaces.
Because a party is where people come to perform. People come to express parts of themselves and everything, but feeling like
an open
wound that you're bare.
You're bare.
Anything might just so this is just a literal, if you have an open wound and you get sweat into it, it hurts.
And everyone can see an open wound, right?
Yeah, everyone can see it. You're bare to the core. You can't even perform like everybody else around you is. You can't perform. You're just.
So that's sort of why it's like, when you feel like an open wound, you're open, you're bare, everyone can see you. You going to go to a party, you look like you're bringing your negative energy to this place because they can see it. They know that you're messed up. No, maybe that's not the right thing to say. They know that you're not, your best.
Yeah.
Right? They can see it. So you've been in that space, just like, for instance, I remember when I was going through what I was going through, then some my friends would be intentionally be like, no, okay, maybe not me. Let me relate it to other situations whereby I've seen people not invite other people to certain places because they feel like, that person, I don't want their energy, but they're too sad, they're too dramatic, they're too whatever. They should stay in their house. You get that this thing where people just because they don't think that you will not come there without your problems. They think you will come there with your problems. So I feel like that's what that line is saying. And then she says, it's hard to be anywhere these days when all I want is you. You're a flashback in a film reel on the one screen in my town. So I think this is where maybe a partner or a dear somebody is maybe the person that maybe the person whose doorway she was at. So she says like it's hard to be anything. She's like, just like with Gracie Evans hit the wall. What's that line of something like, I want you, but I'm bad for you. That kind of what she was trying to say.
I wish you'd stay.
Because like you already said, in that one as well, when going through this thing, you're still a human being. You still like some people, someone. You still want company, whether a romantic company or platonic company. You still, crave company, right? So you still think about them and how you kind of still want to, I feel like they're the only ones that you think about and things seem a bit better. There's always, when you're going through that episode, there's always this thing of, because I remember when an acquaintance who committed suicide earlier this year, his suicide note, right? I don't know if you saw his name is Lazy Writer.
No.
Yeah. His suicide note is still made.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Right. It's still, made reference to a special person in his life who that was the only one of the most positive things he was, he had to. So I've noticed that pattern amongst people that have to struggle. There's always that special person that even if even if it's not like, even like, I think from that his notes, they're not together, but he just has this soft spot for this person. So I feel like that's sort of what Taylor's referring to here, because I mean, having mental instability doesn't mean you're a robot that won't have feelings for people or whatever, right? There'll still be that person you feel so much for, whether the person is with you or not with you, or was once with you. You still feel like, I mean, there's one person that's that when I think about, everything just feels all right. And in that guy's suicide notes, it was pretty much like, if I was gonna, I think his point was more like, if I was gonna be alive, you're the only one I want to get married to. That kind of stuff.
I remember.
You remember it, right?
Yeah, I love this bridge.
I love it so much.
What it's saying is, so let's take it again. Like, it's hard to be
at a party
when I feel like an open wound. Like, it's hard to be around people. Let's just put it as simply as that. But it's hard to be anywhere these days when all I want is you. So yeah, like that one person.
There's always that one person. Even
that,
you
like,
can't
even
stand
with everything.
Yeah, with everything.
Your open wound and everything.
You can't stand a lot of people. You can't stand everyone. But there's always that one person.
Yeah,
you can always make exceptions for. That it's just a special person to you.
You feel kind of like you don't even care.
You don't care
if
exactly.
If you have like an open.
It's always that one person.
You feel safe. You feel like you can actually just be
with them. There's always that one person. I feel like, even back to some of our, our conversation in the last one, like we said, there's always that one person. Whether or not you're with them, you just feel something with that one special person. And then you say you're a flashback in a film reel on the one screen in my town, still basically saying it's just you. But I love the expression here. You're a flashback in a film reel on the one screen in my town. When I think about this line, like I think about local communities, right? Where maybe there's only one cinema, or maybe there's only one community, whatever, right? That's how rare, like you are, like you're so, like you're the only thing in this, whatever, you're the only. So that's how I think about a small community. That's the image I always have in my head. I think about my village, for instance. That is a small community that has just one screen in that entire town, and you're the only film reel, and it's just one film reel that displays on that community screen every single time. And that is just a way to describe like something being so like it's only you and you alone.
That is so beautiful.
It's a sweet line. It's a way to adorn somebody.
Yeah.
But obviously it's being said in a very sad context here. Yeah. But it's a very beautiful. If someone tells me that right now, I'm gonna feel so. I'll blush. I will blush. I want to say, I've noticed in her songs that even in between, spitting and spiraling, at some point she will sprinkle some very cute, romantic, adoring, like even when we read, I can't remember the line, but even we read like while she's spiraling, we read there's still a line that sort of talk about like how you're so forgetting the line, but that line you're a flashback in your film reel in one screen in my town. You're the only one. You're the only thing. You're rare, or whatever. Like in the sea of all this whatever, it's just
you just. I love that,
and I just wanted you to know that this is me trying, because there's that thing about even the person as well, that special person. At some point they will get a bit like your own is too much, and then there's a part of you that wants to let them know that you're trying your best. Because sometimes even maybe the relationship couldn't even hold because of your mental whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're too much.
I mean, that was what hit the wall.
Yeah, about. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And you're trying to let them know that I'm still trying. I'm just trying. And then sometimes you even let them go. You know that you're not good for them or whatever, but deep down, you know that you're really trying your best, but sometimes trying might not just be enough. So, and then maybe I don't quite know what to say. I just wanted you to know this is me trying, and then the outro. At least I am trying. I just love that. At least I am trying. That kind of, because sometimes when you're going through all that stuff, it feels like you're not trying. People think you're not trying, and trying to be like, look. At least
if you knew,
if only you knew. I'm not perfect. I know this is too much for you. I know this is a lot, but at least I'm trying.
This is, I think, one thing that stands out to me that this song is trying to do is trying to, it's asking to be seen, not just in the way people want to see, but like in the way you're real. Yeah, trying may not look like much when you're just looking
Outwardly.
yeah, but trying is heavy in very little ways. Like it's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Trying is heavy in very little ways. I really love that. I love that. Yeah, I really just also like really love how she really puts the struggles and experiences of these people, how she brings them to light. Like, because really, I would say that, listening to songs like this has really made me more aware of, and then of course with conversations like this has made me really more aware of such things people have to deal with, and
Yeah.
then maybe tomorrow, how do we navigate? Like maybe I have a close friend that isn't, it has maybe more sensitive towards how to navigate that
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's true. Let's even bring it outside of the sufferer's mind, and let's look from because a lot of people, when you get left behind, and these people are just of like it's okay to like face your own life and like do your thing because but when people fail to see how much you're trying to be present, how much you're trying to be seen, they downplay all the effort because they don't see it in tangible ways that they want to see it, and then you get left behind. You get forgotten. You become this piece just somewhere in their existence, this undefined presence. You're just there.
Just there. So really, I think that's what songs like this and Hits the Wall by Gracie Abrams has really done for me.
Yeah.
Apart from being the sufferer, like also like just being showing up as a better human being
Yeah,
to
to
people, who might have things like this, and like, because I feel like songs like Hit the Wall and this has really communicated mental health to me more than any article or any whatever. I mean, I'm not big on consuming those things, so I won't say that they're not good ones out there. They probably are. I'm just saying personally, I haven't been as exposed to those as much as. That's why I feel like music is powerful, because there's some things you get across through music, right? That you might not get across through an article, because typically, because all this mental health article and the likes, the average person might consider it boring or whatever, right? But like I said, with music like Hit the Wall and this one, I am so much more aware now about these things than I've ever been.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're reading articles, medical, just articles about mental, it can sound too technical, too medical, abstract. Yeah, but one thing music does, it kind of like makes it relatable, even if it's something you don't even understand. At least you can grasp like the concept of getting to a cliff and then deciding not to go with your to drive off it. You can understand understand this, like the imagery.
It brings it home.
But exactly, it just brings it home, and like
that's a very good point. I think I mean, hopefully at some point we'll like get more exposed and more access to like maybe this mental people, and like that and devise ways that things like this can be communicated, because like you really said, I really agree with you. A lot of mental health communications can be very academic, very technical, very but music just really makes it very easy to imagine and understand. And these are ways that these mental facilities can actually foster mental health awareness.
Yeah, true. I agree with that.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was worth it for you. It was for Alex and I.
It was for me, for
like as you can see, and these things, like you start the songs, we don't even know where it takes us. Like we just keep going and spiraling, and just yeah, this one, like I said, is a constant sad one from anytime,
right.
anytime I listen to this song. I'm always like, oh my god.
I love this one, especially the topic it touched on.
Yeah.
I never expected to like go into all of this, but like, this has been.
I love this one so much. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah, see you in our next one.
We hope you join us in our next one.
You better.